like we had a group of kind of rougher kids coming in, 50 of them, and they stopped at one of the shrine. They 2 or 3 of them did confession. They came to Rosa Mystica, and they were all praying in front of the statue. And to some of them, she raised out her arms. To other ones, she smiled. The other ones, she put down her head. Our priest was in the confessional till midnight.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Doug Barry along with JoAnne Von Zwehl, and this is going to be a great interview. She is the executive director and sounds like chief bottle washer, everything at the Rosa Mystica Shrine in upstate New York. So we're going to be talking about that. JoAnne, great to have you on my video today.
Thank you, Doug. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, this is great. I'm going to be coming out to your neck of the woods at the time we record this. It is mid-September, but I'll be coming out the second weekend of October and working with Father Dan Klemick in Ananuzzo, and we're going to be putting on a retreat out there.
Yeah, and we're so excited to have Grace for us. I mean, we've all at Rosa Mystica have been following you for years. We love what you're doing. So to physically have you there is really going to be a blessing for us and a blessing for Our Lady, who will be welcoming you.
Oh, that's going to be exciting. I've never been to the shrine, and we're going to talk about the shrine and miraculous events and things that go on there and a little bit of the history of it. But for anybody out there who's interested in this event, click the link in the description. You can go on out to the website and get signed up for this, or share this information with others in that neck of the woods if you think they would want to come. And this is for everybody. This is not just for men. It's not just for women. We want everybody to show up for this. It's very much about spiritual warfare, and we're going to be addressing that very, very intensely. Tell us about the shrine, Rosa Mystica Shrine. You're the executive director of this fabulous place. Tell us about the shrine and a little history about the devotion to Rosa Mystica, Our Lady of Rosa Mystica.
Well, I'll give you a brief history of where the devotion came from, and then about the shrine in New York.
Okay.
Our mother, as Lady of Rosa Mystica, started appearing to a nurse in 1947 in Italy, in Montichiari. And the first time she came, she was wearing a purple gown with 3 swords in her chest, piercing her chest, saying the priests are going to take the road to perdition. They're going to be mortal sins. They're going to follow Judas, and they're going to leave the church. So obviously in 1947, not a very pleasant message, and nobody saw any of this coming. Then she appeared again in the same year, and she had 3 roses, red, white, and yellow. So asking for prayer, sacrifice, and penance. And us as lay people, we need to stand up for our church. So a story that I always give is that it was always us saying to our priests, pray for us, pray for us. But we're at a time in history where we need to pray for our priests.
Right.
So if we were sending a soldier out to war, we're not going to say, hey, go ahead, have a great time. No, we're going to give him a helmet. We're going to give him bulletproof vest. We're going to give him a gun. We're going to send him out to war. We need to do that for our priests. We as lay people need to pray for our priests, pray for vocations, and stand behind them because they're in a battle now. Mm-hmm. And Our Lady saw that back in 1947. And something that you probably didn't know, and I see the statue of Fatima there, is in one of those apparitions, Our Lady appeared with the 2 children from Fatima. And
really?
Yeah. And in that apparition, we feel that she's extending the mission. So her message in Fatima was prayers and rosary, reformation, and everything else. So now it's the same message, but she's extending that message this time to the church. And the church is the rock. And if we don't have priests, we don't have a church. So Our Lady of Fatima's too, her feast day is on the 13th of the month. Rosa Mystica, she asked for a feast day on July 13th. So she's extending the 13th. The Pope was saved on the 13th, thanks to Our Lady of Fatima.
Right.
Guess who was saved last year on July 13th on the Feast of Rosa Mystica?
Right.
Donald Trump.
President Trump, yeah.
President Trump, right. So I think there's an extension there. I think that Our Lady is asking us to do these things, to have prayers, to stick up for the church. Mm-hmm. And I also believe that this is a time when we really need it. We really need it. I mean, there's some wonderful priests out there. And even when we go to mass, don't be complaining about your priest. Pray for him. If you don't
Right.
like what he says, pray for him. Pray for him. If your priest is giving a homily, back him up with prayers. So Our Lady wants us to back up our church, and she's coming as Our Lady of Rosa Mystica for that. So anyway, and that was in the 1940s. She appeared again a few other times in the 1960s,
Mhm.
and the apparitions got approved 2 years ago. So
And again, where did the apparitions begin? Again?
in Montichiari, Italy.
Okay, right.
Then in the 1960s, she started appearing to Mother Leonardi. So Mother Leonardi was Padre Pio was her spiritual director when he was alive, and after he died, she bilocated. She had the stigmata and other gifts. And one of the appearances from Our Lady of Rosa Mystica, there was numbers, and they're like, "What are these numbers?" Nobody could figure it out. It ended up being latitude and longitude from Italy to upstate New York
Hmm.
in the middle of nowhere. And that always makes me laugh because the Blessed Mother never picks an area that's really populated and easy to get to. I think we have to do our penance driving there.
Right.
So,
Just getting to the
like
location, right?
smack in the middle of Baptist country, like what? So anyway, Mother Leonardi came over from Italy. She did to Edmonston, New York. She did prayer, fasting, adoration for 40 days to decide, is this where Our Lady wants this chapel built? She decided it was. She had some Franciscan monks from Canada and a priest from New York, and they built the chapel,
Nice.
the original chapel in 1985.
Okay. All right. And so 1985, you got this chapel built, and did it draw people right away, or what was the process for it to start getting to the point where people recognize it as a critical location? Were there any events that happened that drew people there, or was it just a gradual growth?
Absolutely not. Not then. The main priest was fighting with the bishops. The winters were terrible. Like they put apple orchards in. They were going to be self-sustaining and everything else. And it just ended up vacant.
Mm.
So how we got involved is my family. My dad had been very successful, sold his company, and then him and my mother, they bought all these things. They were living the life. They're like, this is great. They did a year or so of this, and they looked at each other. They were great, great, great Catholics, and like, this is stupid. like, what are we doing? Who really cares?
Right.
And this isn't as much fun as you think it would be.
Mm.
Like, we have to do something for our faith. So we started building churches, novitiate houses, orphanages, hospitals in third world countries. My mother was very Irish. She was like, we only deal with the poor, poor, poor. And we built about 44, and somebody on our board got us involved in this project. So we said, no, we don't want to do that. And they're like, no, don't worry. I'll take care of it and we'll handle it. And we're like, okay. So we acquire the property, and long story short, she leaves us with us. So being the wonderful Catholics that we are, we're like, we're so getting rid of this place. We're so out of here. We were like Jonah, we're out. So we're giving it for free. We're not even selling it. We're so nervous that we might end up with it. We're giving it away for free. We're giving it to a priest, God rest his soul, Father Bill McCarthy. The day of the closing, he has a heart attack. Fine the next day.
So wait, so you were set to hand this off?
Handing it over with
Okay.
bells on. So he couldn't close. Next day he was fine. There was a few other incidents like that. My mother got in prayer that America's in trouble now, and that this is going to be our mission.
And about what year would that have been?
That was about 25 years ago.
Okay.
About 25 years ago.
Okay.
And so we took over. It was an abandoned chapel, and everybody used to stay in the basement. So we got the original miraculous statue back from the priest. We had to buy that back. We had to find it, but it was the original one made in Germany. And this is incredible, Doug. When it came back, it got created back, and she was crying. So
Wow.
she was so happy to be back in her place. And so many miracles have happened around that statue.
So had the statue been there before that, and then
Yes.
was taken out? Okay.
It was
All right.
taken out. Everything was taken out. So
And she
so
gets
anyway,
returned, and she's weeping.
right. right.
Wow.
And the Rosa Mystica is the largest, Our Lady of Rosa Mystica is the largest apparitions in the world. So normally apparitions are for one place only.
Mhm.
With Rosa Mystica, you're seeing crying statues with blood or
Mhm.
with gold on them, the water coming out of the eyes, all over the whole world. Now, never in history have we ever seen that. We've never seen this happening everywhere. So I think that Our Lady is saying, we're in tough times, tougher than you think.
Yeah.
And she's not waiting for us to come to her. She's coming to us.
Mm.
And we had one time an IRA bomber, and his mother prayed for him for years and years and years. And she gave him the statue of Rosa Mystica de Novena. Now, he wasn't practicing at all. And but he's like, okay, it's my mom. I'm Irish. I got to do it. So he's doing the novena. He was planning on blowing up a building. And then he was doing it and he was igniting it. And he said, if this is not what you want, lady, don't have it happen. And
Mm.
it didn't happen.
Wow.
So this is just, and this is in Ireland too. So this is just like a small sample of what's going on
Yeah.
all around the world. And at Rosa Mystica, it's just unbelievable, the miracles that are happening and the people that are coming there to get healed. Mother Leonardi was very close to Padre Pio, and
Yeah.
we had a priest from Divine Mercy, and he came for the weekend to do a retreat. So you better be careful, Doug, when you're staying in your cottage, because
I
Padre Pio showed up.
I am ready for miracles. I pray God. Yes.
He showed up at his in his cottage, gave him, he was struggling with a few things, helped him all night long.
Wow.
And then before Padre Pio left, he said, tell the director that I am the spiritual director of Rosa Mystica.
Mm.
So he's our spiritual director. We've had quite a few sightings of Padre Pio there.
Mm.
And we have a car there that there was a miracle. This man picked up a hitchhiker. The hitchhiker ended up being Padre Pio. He was totally healed of cancer. It's one of the miracles in the Vatican, and he donated the
Wow.
car. So we do confessions in there. People love to sit in there.
You have
And
confessions in the car.
yeah, we do. We're it's in the golf carts, in the car, anywhere. And I think
Right.
it's one of my favorite things about Rosa Mystica is that where do you see people lining up and everywhere to
Mm.
go to confession, like baby Medjugorje? And I don't
Mm.
know if you ever heard, did you ever hear of Steve McDonald?
No, I've not.
He was a cop that got shot. I think they're starting his beatification process, but he used to come to Rosa Mystica all the time, and he was totally paralyzed. And he said Rosa Mystica is the Medjugorje of the United States.
Oh.
And we have people, like we had a group of kind of rougher kids coming in, 50 of them, and they stopped at one of the shrine. They 2 or 3 of them did confession. They came to Rosa Mystica, and they were all praying in front of the statue. And to some of them, she raised out her arms. To other ones, she smiled. The other ones, she put down her head. Our priest was in the confessional till midnight, doing
Wow.
confessions. So it's unbelievable, like conversions, and so many priests were getting, praying for vocations. So we're getting all these vocations.
Hmm.
People
So
come, they
So
can't
once you
get.
took over the shrine and you refurbished it and got it up to better shape, then, in other words,
Right.
okay,
Habitable.
you get the statue back of Our Lady Rosa Mystica. And you put on retreats on a regular basis out there.
Yes.
And you've had some pretty powerful priests come out there. Father Rehill, I believe, has been there. Father
Yes.
Tim Blunt,
Fantastic.
Father Chris Alar. I mean,
Yep.
who else have you had out there putting on retreats? Are there people, priests?
Yeah, we just had Divine Will, Father Celso. I love Divine Will.
Okay.
And Father Ignatius Mary. We have other less known priests coming from all over. So even this weekend, this was Divine Mercy.
Mhm.
We had 4 priests on the
Mm.
altar. So
Wow.
priests just, and another one we had would have been 5, and they just come because they love Our Lady and they want to be there. And one of the priests, first time there, somebody told him about it, or maybe I think he saw it on a podcast or something. And so he comes, he's a little skeptical, and he does the Patriotic Rosary Walk. Now, so after I'll explain to you what that is, but he does it, and he has a knee injury that wasn't healing. It was like 6 weeks ago, and it was supposed to be healed. It wasn't. He led the Patriotic Rosary. He got healed doing the Rosary. And then after he was sitting there, he wasn't the main celebrant at Mass. He's sitting there, and he's sitting next to the tabernacle, and it starts pulsing for him, and it has a pulse. Wow. And he can feel Jesus' heart. I mean, he was so beside himself before the Mass was over. He's like, I got to say something. I can't believe what's going on here. Like, so it's
that's incredible. And that, those sorts of things seem to happen, from what I understand from talking to you and Eileen and others, that seems to be a regular occurrence, that something miraculous is regularly happening out there.
All the time. I know another time we had generational healing. A priest was doing that, and we were in the smaller chapel. So it's got the crucifix is gigantic, and it's all windows. And he's sitting there, and he keeps looking out the window. So we had dinner with him that night. I'm like, Father, what were you looking at? He goes, I'm seeing all the souls come up. And I go, wow, do you see that all the time? Because I'm figuring he sees that all the time. He goes, no. He goes, I was trying to keep myself together. I've never seen that in my entire life of doing generational healing masses. I was watching them go up to heaven. And I'm like, oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that is amazing. And the retreat that we're going to be putting on, Father Dan Clemic, myself, and Nuzzo, we'll be doing the sacred music for it, is October 10, 11, and 12. And I want everybody to take, again, a look at this. Click the link in the description, go on out and check this out. Make a visit there. Can people come for other just visits? It doesn't have to be for a retreat. They can just come and visit the shrine, correct?
We have a permanent priest there until the end of October, because the winters get kind of hard, but they can come anytime. We do Mass every day. We do confessions, Divine Mercy. We do the Rosary. We do adoration. Father Blunt is another priest that we have that comes every year. Father Blunt, like 4 years ago, Doug, he pulls me aside and he says, he got this prophetically, you need to do adoration every Monday at 12 to Tuesday at 12. For the end of abortion in New York and then the United States, it will come from this chapel. So, being, the director, I'm like, Father, we're in the middle of Baptist country here. Can we do that on the weekend? Because I got us covered on the weekend. No problem. I could do 2 days if you want on the weekends. We can do 48 hours of adoration. He goes, no, you have to do it then. Wow. So we're like, okay. Then we've been doing, for the end of abortion, praying for priests. And we let visitors come. We have a main house there. It's beautiful. It's like chalet, and we let them come, and we only ask when a group comes in, like $25 a person donation to cover adoration that night. And the experiences people have had in that have been unbelievable. And since Father has asked us to do that, there have been some positive legal things going on, with abortion. So we're going to keep it up.
Yeah. Well, and again, the retreat that we're doing October 10, 11, 12 is about spiritual warfare. We're going to be addressing how these are elements of the spiritual battle, and in particular, deepening our prayer, adoration, rosary, the importance of just growing in devotion to the two hearts, our Blessed Mother's Immaculate Heart and the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Tell us about the Patriotic Rosary. You had mentioned that a little bit ago.
Yeah, we have the first physical Patriotic Rosary walk in the United States. And I don't even know how this devotion kind of came to me. Like 20 years ago in adoration, the Lord started showing me images in my head, everything's in the head, Doug. But anyway, of God and country. Yeah. And so I started painting them. So I have this incredible devotion, and everybody says, do you have somebody in the military? I'm like, no. Has somebody been killed of this? I'm like, no. Lord put that on my heart. So when I first read the Patriotic Rosary, I was like, this is amazing. And especially for this time in history, like, you know what? we need to cover our country, our presidents,
Mhm.
our elect. I don't care what side they're on. We need to pray for them. And before the election too, everybody was so lost. Like, what do we do? Everybody felt helpless. Well, we're
Yeah.
not helpless. We have the Rosary, we have prayer, and the Patriotic Rosary Walk specifically is for our country. So we decided it's on about 30 acres. It's beautiful. Um, as you know, with the Patriotic Rosary, each Hail Mary is a different state. So
Right.
as you go down, and it ends up on a lake that's a healing lake that we've had many healings at, and a platform at the bottom. And it's really one of our favorite things to do. We'll be having this weekend Sister Dee Dee Burns, who
Good.
is, I actually know Sister before she was a nun. She's a wonderful friend,
Ah, nice.
wonderful person. I mean, so she's
Yeah,
coming.
she has an amazing background.
She does.
Yeah, I see her periodically at the Rosary Coast to Coast in Washington, D.C. every October. Me and Father Heilman and others go out there, and she has been a regular speaker out there. But what an incredible voice, incredible nun. Yeah.
Incredible. Also, she's an amazing cleaner. She stayed over here once. We had a little party. I wake up the next day and everything's clean. The dishes are done. I go, sister, what happened here? What did you do? I'm going to have to go to confession for not helping you. So.
Yeah. But before we wrap this up, I do want to get one more story. If you could tell, just recently happened. You had a fire
Oh,
there.
yeah.
And I saw some of the pictures. They were sent to me. I looked at the pictures. Incredible. Yeah. Tell
Incredible.
about the story there.
Oh, so I had done a podcast and it got a lot of traction, and we had a big deliverance weekend that weekend. And all that happened on Saturday. And then on Sunday, too, our staff there was feeling uneasy. Everybody felt uncomfortable, like there was something there. And but our one manager, he stayed as late as he could. And then he said, I better go pray in the Adoration Chapel. So he goes to pray there. And then he gets back to his home, and his mother sent him deliverance prayers, which was crazy. She never does that. Anyway, the priest comes in the next day and he opens the door, and the whole chapel is full of smoke. I mean, unbelievable. And once the smoke got cleared, they look at it. The candles all exploded. But Doug, we've had these candles there for 25 years. We've never had a problem or anything. They exploded, and then a fire started, and the fire was so hot it started burning and busting all the tiles on the altar and everything. And as it was going up towards the altar, there was a pilgrim statue made of wood with a veil and flowers like around it, and stopped the fire. Not It went around her, never. The fire went out all by itself. The fire inspector comes there the next day, and he says, I'm not a religious man and I'm not a Catholic. He goes, but I cannot explain on human terms how this fire went out and how this happened. And he goes, and the craziest thing is, how is that statue untouched? Like, even the veil, like it was like kindling wood, And Our Lady said, no, this is my home, my place, and you're not getting past me. And it's amazing, Doug. If you look at the pictures, she's just beautiful and she's calm. She's not worried at all. I think she's sending us a message. We might have fire all around us, but we stay calm, and she will put out those fires.
Yeah, that is a great way of putting it. Because when I saw the pictures, I thought the same thing. I thought this impossible that this, and I'm not an expert, of course, in firefighting or fire technology, whatever you would call that. But I understand enough that when you've got a pretty intense fire right in front of something that is wooden, or all the cloth that's around it, and some of the plastic flowers that look like they started to burn and then stopped.
Just stopped.
It
Like, how
doesn't
did they
make
even
any
stop?
sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
And the intensity of the heat over to the side by the altar, if I remember the picture correctly, there were some plants there that were charred, that were so affected by the heat, which you would have thought the statue of Our Lady would have been engulfed then, because that heat and the flame had reached so far over to the plants by the altar.
The
It's
fire
pretty
inspector,
incredible.
he even came back the next day for 2 more hours because he's scratching his head. He's like, I must have missed something. 2 more hours the next day. And even the underneath the beams that are holding up the altar, the wood, all charred.
Mm,
all charred, but no,
wow.
but Our Lady, nothing, not even, not even a little like singe of something, like not even a piece of flint that got on her.
Yeah, it is miraculous just from the pictures that I saw. I'm very excited to be there very soon and take a look at this myself. Well, is the chapel going to be open, I guess, in time for the retreat
Yes,
when I'm
I
there?
believe it will be, but we have a adoration chapel that we've been using,
Okay.
and I'm really excited about the spiritual warfare because I don't,
Mhm.
I have the pleasure of listening to when people like yourself and Father come, and I think it's something that people need so badly. Like we need to, we
Yeah.
can't sit after even what just happened with Charlie Kirk. We cannot sit by. We need this is this is principalities against principalities, and we need to gird up and be ready for spiritual warfare and not be afraid, but we need to know how to handle it, and knowing how to handle something takes the fear out of it. So I myself am very excited to be at this retreat.
Well, and that's something in my, again, 35 plus years of traveling around the country, outside the country, speaking in venues all over the place, from EWTN to Catholic radio and events such as this and conferences. I've said hundreds of times, especially to men, I like to address it with men. Ladies should hear this too. But when it comes to physical protection and defense, all the men that I've ever spoken to that have families, if you ask any of them, good men, if someone were to be attacking your family, if there was a home invasion, for example, who do you think should be the one to intervene between the bad
Right,
guy that's coming in and the loved ones, your family? And men will always say, well, of course it should be me. How
right.
many men, I would say in the conference, I said this one time up in Indiana, 1,000 men or more at this conference, raise your hand if you love your families. Oh yeah. Shout it out. Oh yeah. How many of you would fight for your families? Oh yeah, I'd fight for my family. Who would die for their family? And they, oh, I'd die for my family. And then I said, and if someone breaks in your house and you're fighting and you die, what happens to your family? And they all got quiet. And I said, okay, so what's the answer then? No one says anything, and a guy in the back of the room yells out, "Learn how to fight." And that sums it up. If you want to survive the battle so you can protect those that God has entrusted to your care, you need to know how to engage in the battle. And that's not just physical, that is spiritual as well. A lot of us are being removed from the battlefield spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, because we don't know how to engage in the different ways that the enemy is attacking us. Physically speaking, I would say this to men as well. Have a plan. If someone comes in to hurt your family, if I'm here and I've got family or friends over, I'm still the first line of defense to protect those that God has entrusted to my home. I need to have a plan how to do that. Spiritually speaking, I need to have that too. Most of us are not going to have a physical attack, but we all have spiritual
All.
attacks.
And
So it is essential that we know, as you mentioned, how are we going to engage in this? And so, yes, we were going to talk about that at this weekend. What are the things that we can do? You can't just say, well, I'm going to call Father and he's going to come over and take care of it. No, we need to be the ones that know how to engage to protect our own souls and the souls of those that God entrusts to us.
And as men, and this is scripture, your job is to bring your family to heaven, to get your family to be with you in eternity. And that main job has been given to the man.
Yes.
So
Primary spiritual head of the home. Yep.
primary spiritual head of the home. So you've got to know how to do that.
Right. And for the ladies out there who might be thinking, well, I don't know if this is for me, is it a men's thing? No, ladies need to understand the complementary nature that God has ordered it for men and women, head of the home, heart of the home, the nurturing, the defensive, the protection, the all of these pieces is just such a phenomenally beautiful way that God has ordained all of this. And a lot of that dysfunction and disjointedness that takes place in a family where people misunderstand what their roles are or don't take them seriously enough and don't learn to or know how to cooperate with one another can lead to such devastation in the family and in their own personal lives and souls. And you're absolutely right. We men need to stand before God. I think Father Chad Ripperger, we had him on our Grace Force podcast one time, and he was saying that in the fall of Adam and Eve, church fathers, early church fathers will say that Eve fell in, I think he said, 5 key areas theologically where she failed by taking the fruit and listening to the enemy. But Adam failed in 8. Even though he wasn't on site when it happened, he still failed in 8 different key areas because of his role as the head of that scenario, the spiritual head. So there is a lot at stake here. And as you said earlier, with regards to where our country is right now, if we don't look at what's happened in the country and realize that we need to be better prepared, spiritually speaking, above all, and let that flow into the other areas that we need to be prepared too.
Right.
And however that manifests, we don't know yet. Sometimes it's physical defensive situations. Sometimes it's just being prepared to handle the crisis on a natural level with food and water, whatever it might be. That spiritual, mental, emotional piece is critically important. That's where it begins. And those are areas we all need to work on. And I'll say this last point, give you the last word. And that's this, JoAnne. We need to take care of ourselves spiritually. That's the root of it. But it doesn't stop there, because we're creatures that have emotions. We have thought process, we have ability to reason, and we have human bodies, and they're all part of the creation that God has given each of us. And so we want to talk about how we even can be better prepared for the battles by dealing with our emotions, our thoughts, our memories. A lot of people fall into, here's one, the temptation of too much sentimentality and nostalgia. Okay, so when your kids want to move out and go on and do things in life, we parents have to let them go. We have to pray for holy detachment and let them go. And the devil can get in there sometimes and make you feel so sad that your kid has moved away. Although some parents, it's not that. They're happy that they're going. But you know what I mean? So we've got to look at all the different pieces of who we are as human beings and how we can incorporate those in a good spiritual warrior mindset.
And I think that's with the women as well. We need
Yes.
spiritual warfare. Women, we need to protect our children also, you know, and we need to see what's going on with them behind them, not in the physical realm, in the spiritual realm.
Yeah.
So it's really important for all of us. And
I'll say this too. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, that's
you
okay.
say that, and it really, one more thing it just made me think about is, you know, when I just did a video recently on the 7 promises of Our Lady of Sorrows, having devotion to Our Lady of Sorrows.
I've done that painting.
Have you? Oh, beautiful.
No, love it. You'll see it when you get to Rosa
Awesome.
Mystica.
I look forward to that. But the part about one of the promises has to do with, I will be there at your moment of your death. You will see my face. There are stories of soldiers who were dying on a battlefield, and as they're dying, they're calling out for their mother. So for any of the ladies out there listening or watching or who will come to this retreat, and I pray that a lot of you do, it's so important to realize that even if you feel you've lost some connection with your children in some way, because, you know, they go different directions and they struggle. I know I have 5, and those elements of growing in life happen. There's something inside between a mother and a child that has the ability to have such a deep, intimate connection, no matter what the circumstances. So yes, ladies, you are so deeply involved in this. You know, we men have the spiritual head of the home, but you are that spiritual heart. And there is something about that even men can't address because God hasn't set it up that way. And so ladies, you've got to be on top of the game too when it comes to this spiritual battle. So any final thoughts you'd like to give with everybody, or encouragements to come to this retreat or just come to the shrine?
I just come to the shrine. You see it for yourself. You'll feel it when you get there. I always say that I have one of my really good friends, a beautiful girl from Brooklyn, never stops talking. I mean, and I love what she's always making me smile. But she got out of the car at Rosa Mystica and she says, "Joe," she goes, "I'm speechless." I go, I'm putting that on the miracle list.
That's good.
You know, when you go there, there's certain spots where heaven in the world, the heaven is closer to earth.
That's good.
And your soul feels it. Like all you have to do is get there and you'll say, "What is this?" Kind of like Medjugorje. You get out of the bus and you're like, "Where am I?" You know, not for any other reason, but your soul knows that there's something going on there.
That's a great way to put it. A great way to wrap it up too is, ladies and gentlemen, come to the Shrine of Our Lady Rosa Mystica in upstate New York, Edmiston, I believe. Is I pronounce that right?
Yes.
That's right. Check out the website. The link's in the description. And when you get there, your soul will feel it. And that's just a great way to look at it. So, JoAnne, this has been great. Maybe we'll have back on in the future sometime, but I'm looking forward to seeing you when I come up to the retreat very soon.
Thank you so much, Doug, and keep up the great work.
Awesome. All right. All right. God bless and strengthen all of you out there. Thanks for joining us in this video. Please share this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all those things that we always ask you to do when it comes to YouTube videos, because it does affect the algorithms and help it get recommended to more people. And ultimately, that's what we're aiming for, is that more people will get these messages. And by the grace of God and the intercession of our Blessed Mother and the saints and the angels in heaven, we will bring souls to a deeper knowledge of who God is. And in the end, ultimately, salvation for us all is what we're aiming for. God bless you. We'll see you all soon.